Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about sustainable energy. What do IKEA and Schiphol have in common? The last time I was at IKEA, it was shortly after New Year's, and the place was still decorated. There were fairy lights everywhere, thousands of them. And as I was admiring them, I was struck by the thought of how much energy it must take to get this all powered up. Not only that, there's stores, there's other lights everywhere, there's escalators, there's lifts, and all of this uses electricity. So I went home and I looked it up and I found out that Schiphol in the last year used 175 gigawatt hours of energy. Now, this may seem like a random number, but when you look at the global average for household energy use, this is enough to sustain over 50,000 households for a year. When I was at IKEA a few days later, I noticed something similar. Lights everywhere, escalators, lifts, appliances that you can just try out. And that must take a lot of energy too. Looking it up, I found that it uses 1,582 gigawatt hours of energy. And that was in 2011 when they still had 317 stores. That was already enough to power 452,000 households for a year. Now, they have 414 stores around the world, and they're still expanding. So, where do they get this energy from? Because it really is a lot. Well, this is where their paths start to diverge. IKEA has committed itself to run entirely on renewable energy by 2020, and they're well on their way to obtaining this goal. They use things like wind and solar power. But Schiphol does it differently. They do have an agreement with the government that between 2005 and 2020, they are allowed 2% less growth than what might be expected based on airport growth. This means that they estimate what they're going to use in a year based on how the airport is growing, how there's more passengers, and then they're supposed to scale that back by 2%. They have set a personal goal of 4%, and they have implicated measures to achieve this goal, such as using lights more efficiently. But this 4% doesn't mean a cessation of growth. Schiphol continues to use more and more energy. And if they want to continue to grow this way, if they want to continue on that trajectory, they need to start looking towards sustainable and renewable sources. What do IKEA and Schiphol have in common? A large and ever-growing amount of foot traffic. In 2017, there were an estimated 69 million travelers at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. And this does not even include the people picking up or sending off travelers, who also account for a great deal of foot traffic. In that same year, globally, IKEA had 933 million store visits. Imagine how much feet those are. PaveGen has come up with a new technology. They've been working on this for the past few years, and it is a technology that it produces tiles, and once you step on these tiles, where they are trodden upon, they generate electricity, and this can be stored. This means that travelers and visitors' footsteps could help power the airport they would walk in. They don't even have to change their habits, they just need to keep on traveling. One study on the benefits of these PaveGen tiles found that not only is it cost efficient and sustainable, it also works towards social awareness. The author of the study says as follows: social change towards increasing awareness is the most beneficial factor of the PaveGen tile. Installing these tiles might be a small step, but I believe it would be one in the right direction. What could IKEA and Schiphol have in common? Use of sustainable energy sources, propelling them towards the future.